research shows that less than 50% of the world's adult literate population actually has read a book, a novel, a play in the last 1 year. Closer home, the National Book Trust has done a survey and has published a report which we all actually knew all along, that the current youth, the Indian current youth, actually have rated reading a book way below as part of their favorite pastime or the way they spend their time. The first, of course, hands down winning, is watching TV, listening to music, and so on and so forth. Surfing internet, social networking, these are the new ways of spending time. As a child, I remember growing up on a staple diet of Chanda Mama, Tarzan. Then I graduated to Enid Blyton, The Famous Five, Hardy Boys. Then I graduated to Agatha Christie. Then, so on and so forth, more serious books. But now my kids, they get glued in front of the TV and they watch some really inane, nonsensical stuff, just becoming couch potatoes. Ladies and gentlemen, what is happening? We all know that there is a direct correlation between reading as a habit and educational attainment. And we know that with educational attainment, you get social attainment, you get your life's attainment. But still, you don't spend much time reading. You have answered the question yourself. With reading, you become a fuller person. As a well-read person, you are better informed. As a better informed person, you are able to take better informed decisions. And with better decisions, hopefully, you have a better quality of life, your own life and the life of people around you. But then, there are a lot of distractors. There are people, mostly lazy, who would tell you that the relevance of reading does not exist in this world of internet, in this world of TV. How many of you have read this book, Da Vinci Code by Dan Brown? How many of you have seen this movie by the same name? Well, there's only one example. You could take the example of Harry Potter or any other book that was made into a movie. You would, if you have read the book and also seen the movie, you would agree with me that the movie pales in comparison in front of the book. The movie is an interpretation of the director of whatever the author was trying to say. My friends, this reading cannot be substituted except in one case, that is when you are reading for information gathering. If you are reading for information gathering, you could possibly avoid it by perhaps going to a Google or a Wikipedia or something. Another usual excuse that is given is that I don't have time or perhaps money to buy some books. I would only say this, that when you look back at the clothes that we wear, the arrow shirts we buy, the money that we spend on expensive gifts, and the time we spend in going to convenience stores, I'm sure it doesn't stand a good reason. If you are convinced that we should be spending more time and money in reading books, I have a few suggestions for you which you could take away. One of them is, make a good big list of books you want to read before you die. you find these sites which say 100 locations I want to visit before I die, or 100 things I want to do. You make a good list. That becomes a good ambition for you. It's a goal for you. It motivates you to read. Number 2, always carry a book with you. You always have to wait on something. You wait for the bus, you wait for a train, the train is delayed, the flight is delayed, you're waiting for your friend. Rather than cursing that your time is getting wasted, make a good use of it. I do not know how many of you have noticed this, but one of our accomplished speaker and Toastmaster of Sunshine Toastmaster, P.K. Ramesh, if you happen to notice his bag, you will see a book inside. Usually, most often he carries a book with him. And it is no wonder that, by espousing the good habit of reading, he also has established himself to be a great Toastmaster. I'm sure you could emulate this. Apart from this, there are other ways in which you can, learn this habit, or you can build this habit. One other is you can keep a space and time. Just like you have a dining room where you eat, a bedroom where you sleep, you could keep aside a space in your house where a favorite chair, a favorite bench in the park, or some location where you would read. Only thing is, don't use your bed as a favorite place, because then you are actually assisting good sleep. Apart from this, I have another suggestion, and that is, please reduce the time you spend watching TV and surfing the internet. You will automatically generate a lot of time for reading your book. And for those of my young friends, if you visit the second-hand bookshops, you would also be able to grab good bargains and still not burn out a bigger hole in your pockets. For those of you who give expensive gifts to people like perfumes or clothes or things, you could think of giving books, because you actually help them to inculcate the habit of reading. And last but not the least, for those of you who have young children, please read for your children. Read along with your children. Read to your children. By this you get a triple benefit. You actually learn the habit and you get into the habit of reading. You inculcate this habit in your younger children. So the next generation is also getting into that habit. And last but not the least, you also do actually spend quality time with your kid. I have only one word of caution there. Please do not treat this as a chore. Show enthusiasm and interest when you are reading to your kid. Because if you project this image, oh, come on, come fast, let us read through this story because I have to go and watch the sexiest American beaches on the TV. The kid is picking up this approach that reading is a chore. I just have to complete it. They lose interest. So when you read to your kids, read with interest and enthusiasm. So friends, if you believe that we must inculcate this habit, you have seen the majority could not raise your hands sometime back. If you believe that reading would help you to become a fuller person, if you believe that reading would actually improve your life, you could think of adopting any of the propositions that I have put forward, any of the suggestions that I have given. And with this, you could actually pledge that you could read a book once in a while, maybe once a month. You could pledge that you would actually go out and visit the next book fair. There is one running today at Strand, by the Strand bookstore. You could actually go there and then pick up some books. My dear friends, if you inculcate this habit of reading, you will never be without friends in your life. You will never run out of ideas, and you will actually lead a fuller life. And it is not very difficult.